Good afternoon guys, and welcome back to my channel. You'll have to excuse the sound of the microwave as I am doing two recipes at the same time. But the recipe I'm going to show you on this video I found in one of the little inserts, and I can't actually find it on the website. So if anybody is interested in actually reading this recipe, then please get in touch with me on Instagram or put a comment below and I will happily send you the picture of the recipe. So this is what I'm going to make. It's crispy chicken with chips and coleslaw, and this is the recipe. Let me turn the brightness down. Never prepared. There we go. Crispy chicken with chips and slaw, and it's 2.5 sins per person, and that's for the polenta. Yeah, so this recipe uses polenta to make the crispy coating on the chicken. So let's get started. The first thing that it says is about making the chips. Well, I'll show you how we make the chips shortly, but if you make them in the oven, then it says to do the chips in the oven first. So what we need is 1 egg. So it says whisk the egg. Oops, I need to put you down, just bear with me a second. I've got my egg in a bowl, so I just want to beat that. So the recipe I have is for 4, and I'm just going to make enough for 2 for me and Andrew. So we want, in another bowl, we want to weigh out what it needs to be is dried fine polenta. So I've got this Merchant Gourmet one, and I got this from my Morrison's online shop. So let's get that open. I have tried doing crispy chicken with the breadcrumbs recipe, and it just didn't seem to work. So I'm going to try this and hope it goes really crispy, and I won't begrudge spending the sins on it. So the recipe says 50 grams of dried polenta, but that's for 4. So I'm going to measure 25 grams. Oh, it's not a lot. I need to take some of that out. Well, this packet is going to last me quite a while then. There. So 25 grams of polenta. And again, that's for 2. So if you're doing it for 4, you need 50 grams. And then you want 2 teaspoons of paprika. I've just got the Morrison's own brand of paprika. I'll take the top off actually, make it quicker. So yeah, 2 teaspoons of paprika. You could also put some more herbs and spices in if you wanted to, but as Andrew's having this with me, I don't want to make it too spicy. So that's about how much you make up of the coating. And then we need to deal with the chicken breasts. So I have 2 chicken breasts here. They're on the small side, but that's absolutely fine. I've also cut off, sometimes they have like a little extra bit underneath, so I've cut that off, and then invisible fat. And the recipe says to place between 2 sheets of cling film and bash until they are 1 centimetre thick. So this is when you can enjoy thinking about the boss that you hate or someone you want to beat up. Get all that aggression out. Mind your fingers. Give them a bit of a bash. I really like the thought of crispy chicken. It's one of the things I've missed on Slimming World. This one needs doing a little more, this one. So you can see there that they're both about 1 centimetre thick. A little bit more. And then obviously what we need to do is get the chicken coated, so we will read up on that. I've got my beaten egg in one bowl and my polenta and paprika mix in the other. I've got my flattened chicken breast. So what we need to do is dip the chicken in the egg. And then in the paprika, get it covered up. And what I might do is, once I've done the other one, once I've done this one, once I've done the other one, I'll maybe put a bit more on that one. And then we do the same with the other one. And what I'm actually going to cook these on is a chip mesh. I'll show you that in a second. I'm just dipping the second chicken breast in the egg. And then into the paprika. Give it a real good coating. And then I'm just going to divide the rest of the mixture over. Just pat it over. My consultant recommended using one of these chip meshers. She uses them for the pasties. Let me show you properly. Can you see that? You can get them from Home Bargains, and they're only less than a couple of quid. And yeah, she recommended when you cook your pasties and things that they come out really nice on these chip trays. So I thought it'd be nice to try the chicken. Right, I'm going to leave you running while I wash my hands. It's probably not the best coverage I could have achieved, but carnage here, dropping things. Two level bowls would probably work out better. But yeah, hoping there'll be at least some crispy bits on there. So let's get on to preparing the chips. So for the chips, Andrew's here to cause devastation.
I don't know why you'd say that.
I'm going to use Morrison's red potatoes. These have been really nice the past few weeks. And I'm going to use my Oxo peeler, which is really handy peeler. So for two of us, I'm going to peel 3 red potatoes, fairly largish ones. And then I'm going to do 1 carrot for some carrot chips. And then we'll get Mr. Fawcett here to chop them into chips for us. Hello, what's your name and where'd you come from?
My name's Andrew. I live in a house surrounded by debt.
Surrounded by debt? I don't know what he's on about. Right, so what do you say about the potatoes?
They're quite potatoey.
And with the carrots?
Yeah, it's a lovely orange colour. Yeah.
So what are you going to do with the potatoes?
I know what I'd like to do with them. Right, I need a different knife for a start. That's not bloody good. Right.
Excuse the swearing.
What are we doing?
Chips.
Oh yeah. Right. This is how, boys and girls, we make chips. And today we're going to make quite chunky chips. So, cut in half. What I usually do is I'll try and get 3 or 4 slices out of each half. And then just keep going.
Just make them roughly the same thickness.
Try and be quite what's the word? Uniform. That's a good word, isn't it? Uniform. Yeah.
Do a carrot now.
Do a carrot. Hang on. Right.
That other one might be better for chips.
Get rid of that. Oh, I'll do it. No, because I want that for tomorrow for mince.
Right.
There's more of it. No, what? Yeah. So if you try and get one that's a reasonable length, probably a good 6 to 8 inches. Yeah, it's about 8 inches that I can tell. Cut it in half.
I hope there's no children watching.
Half again. And if it's a thick one, if it's got quite a big girth on it, you might need to cut it again. But it's the same principle as with the chips, with the potato chips. Just keep going until you've got roughly the same size. You don't want them too thin, but you don't want them too thick either because you want them to cook. Like I say, I'm trying to get them roughly the same thickness as the potatoes are. So.
And it is quite a good idea to cut off that inside bit because that's the woody part.
So as you can see, I'll just do this half and then.
This is why I have my chip maker right here.
So as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've got a selection of potato and carrot chips, and they're all roughly the same size. Look at that.
And we will show you how we cook them shortly. While
Yes.
Andrew's continuing to cut the potatoes, I'll talk to you about the coleslaw. I've already pre-made mine yesterday, but I will tell you how I made it. But first of all, in the recipe, if you want to make your own, it's half a white cabbage, 2 carrots, a small red onion and radishes, 150 grams, and they're all thinly sliced or into matchsticks. So that's what you would need to make your own. But for mine, I just got one of those pre-packed coleslaw kits. Now you have to be careful because quite a lot of them come with their own sauce or own accompaniment, and you obviously on Slimming World you would have to count the sins, which is up to you if you want to do. But I just made my own. I just got one of the packs of coleslaw mix I got one from Morrison's. Just type coleslaw kit in and see what comes up. We order online. And then I mixed that with 8 tablespoons of fromage frais, which is free on the plan. There it is again, fromage frais. Then I've splashed some of this lemon juice in. If you want to use a fresh one, you can do. and salt and pepper and a bit of paprika. And actually I was going to add some lighter than light mayonnaise as well, but actually on tasting it I really enjoyed it and I didn't want to add any more mayonnaise, but if you want to you can do and count the sins. But yeah, the coleslaw is as easy as that. So I think I'll serve my chicken and chips with coleslaw and probably a little salad as well. Anything you would like to say?
Is it bedtime yet?
For the carrot chips we're going to parboil them. So we're just going to cook them in the microwave for 2 minutes. We don't add any water, but yeah, 2 minutes just to soften them a little bit.
What I usually do is I put it on for a minute and a half and then turn them.
There you go, you see that's the expert talking.
Oh yeah.
Carrots have been on for 1.5 minutes. Andrew's just turning them round.
Don't do this straight away. These been standing for about 3 or 4 minutes.
Tip out any excess water. In for...
It all depends on your thickness.
40 seconds you're doing them.
No, I'll probably do 30 actually, because they're quite
soft.
Yeah, you can tell just by. I mean, you don't want them too floppy, but you don't want them too hard either.
So what are you going to do with your potato chips?
I don't know what we're going to do with them.
Pat them dry.
Yeah.
Get a tea towel.
Yes. Get rid of that. This is a tea towel. Sling your chips on. Throw them on the floor if you like.
Then grab some kitchen roll.
What I'll do is I'll give them a dry in here first, get rid of excess. These chips here, by the way, these are all mine.
Just a few are going to be mine with my carrot chips. This is why I like to leave the chip making to the expert. What's good about this recipe is that we can make things in advance. So the chicken's been in the fridge for an hour or two. The chips have been peeled and sitting in water. So there's certain things that you can prepare ahead to save yourself some time. You don't have to stand in the kitchen for hours. You can prep a couple of things, go and sit down and then come back to it later, or go to work or whatever and come back to it later.
Yeah, it's marvellous really, isn't it?
Yes.
Mm.
So make sure you've given them a good pat dry.
Good old pat, right.
And then your Axifry.
There we go.
There we go.
That's the, yeah. Bung in your chips. Hang on. One hiding.
And then you need to pat the carrots dry too as well.
So, get my carrots out.
Drain any water again that's just collected from cooking the carrots.
What I'll do is I'll pick a carrot up and show you what sort of firmness they should be, so they're basically cooked at the same time as your chips. So just pat them off like that, you see, and I'll pick that one up. It's quite a chunky one, so as you can see,
just have a bit of bend to it.
a bit of bend to it. You can feel there's still a bit of hardness there, but mainly it's quite supple. But you don't want it too. If it held it like this and it just went like that,
too far gone.
It's too far gone. But these should be fine now. So we'll stick them in there.
And then you want to get your fry light. We use butter fry light. Just give it a good spray. And it's at this point that you'd add your chip spice or your JD seasonings, chips and wedges. But Andrew doesn't like that, so we don't bother. Is that in a fry light, dear?
Yeah, I'll add a little bit later.
Yeah, and then just in case I forget to show you, halfway through cooking the chips, they'll take about 25 minutes, and halfway through, spray them again with fry light. So on that goes, and then we'll get the chicken on. So here's the chicken, and I'm preheating my oven. This is a microwave oven, so that's why I'm preheating my oven to 200 degrees, and the recipe says 20 minutes. So 200 degrees for 20 minutes, and I'm just preheating that, and hopefully the chicken and the chips should be ready about the same time. I am looking forward to this. So that is the chicken out of the oven. It has been in for 20 minutes, and I've cut one open, and they are done on the inside. And when I cut it, it did feel quite a bit of a crunch. So that is 2.5 sins for the polenta. So we'll see how it tastes. Can you see it's got like a little crust on it? So the chips aren't quite done, so we'll keep those going, and I will come back to you and show you my full plate. Right, so the potato and carrot chips are out of the Actifry. What you want to do is put them back on the tea towel and dab any excess fry light off them. But what I forgot to say about the mesh tray was it did stick slightly. The chicken did stick slightly to the mesh tray, so it might be worth spraying it with fry light.
Right, I'll pick out the carrots.
So he has to pick out the carrot chips, because God forbid that a carrot batten should end up on Andrew's plate.
We don't have any of that nonsense on my plate. Right, so we put that in there like that.
So I've got all the carrot chips on my plate.
Right, I'll just dish out my quarter. There we go.
And then he'll put a few on my plate.
And there we go, that's it.
And here's my finished plate. So I've got my potato and carrot chips with 35 grams of lighter cheese melted over the chips. I've got a green salad, green leaves, tomatoes, cucumbers and peppers. I've got my coleslaw that was made with fromage frais, so that's free. And then I've got my chicken made with polenta, so that is 2.5 sins. Let me know if you try it, guys. Any questions, let me know, and thanks for watching.